Port employees stage protest again on the East Container Terminal crisis. With the spread of the COVID-19, 1,500 Sri Lankans in the Middle Eastern prisons freed. Pensioners across the island signed an objection petition. US alleges Chinese cyber spies attack on COVID-19 research laboratories.
Well, a very good afternoon. You're watching Lunchtime News on Election First. Those were the top stories, and now news in detail. Central Bank of Sri Lanka stated that compensation payments to the depositors of ETI Finance Limited and Swarnamahal Financial Services PLC will commence from the 25th of this month.
In a statement released, the central bank stated that compensation will be paid through 45 branches of the People's Bank. Maximum compensation of 600,000 per depositor is to be paid. Compensation payments will be paid through the Sri Lanka Deposit Insurance and Liquidity Support Scheme. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank suspended business activities of ETI Finance Limited and Swarnamahal Financial Services PLC with effect from 13th of this month. The depositors of ETIFL and SFSP are hereby requested to extend their maximum cooperation towards this compensation payment by submitting originals of their deposit certificates, identification details and other required documents to the respective branch of People's Bank.
The employees at the Colombo port have staged a protest in close proximity to the port, requesting to start utilizing the gantry cranes at the East Container Terminal. Secretary to the Port Commerce, Industries and Services Progressive Workers Union Shamal Sumanaratna said that the authorities are deliberately delaying the deployment of the cranes at the port. Moving on to the next story, pensioners' rights protection organizations signed an objection petition in several parts of the country today.
The petition is signed calling for suspension of the circular issued to suspend the pension due from January 2020. The Pensioners' Rights Protection Organization points out that this is an injustice to more than 100,000 senior citizens. They further pointed out that pensioners who have completed 20 and 30 years of service are greatly disadvantaged. The pensioners who arrived in Galle today signed the petition, which include their demands. The Ratnapura District Pensioners' Rights Protection Organisation signed a petition today. The event was held in the Kuruvita town and was attended by a large number of pensioners.
Party leaders. Political update.
Following are the views expressed by leaders of the main political parties.
A rally attended by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was held in Balagolla, Kandy. The UNP is in power to sell the resources of this country, so we know what happens when they are sold. This UNP government is broken into two. There is a difference between capturing power versus capturing Sirikota. One or two will capture it. If not, they will go to courts and capture it. Join with us to build this country. A rally attended by the leader of the Samagi Jana Balawega, Sajith Premadasa, was held in Ahaliyagoda.
People elect leaders to provide solutions to their issues. However, this present government does not have the capability of providing a solution. The people of the country are requesting the right to live. It is about how we can revive this economy. That is why I said give money to people. Savings, investments and consumptions, all of this should happen. When these happen, the economy of the country will be strengthened. A Prime Minister and a Finance Minister without this knowledge are ruling this country.
A rally attended by the leader of the National People's Power Movement, Anurakumara Disanayaka, was held in Colombo. A discussion is currently in place about the two-third majority. We will have learned that more power means more destruction. They know they can't get a two-third majority. See what is happening during the election. Archaeological sites are destroyed, and the leader of the district says he will not let the perpetrator be brought to justice as long as he is in power. All these are happening in the wake of an election. It is doubtful what will happen after the election. Signs are already provided.
කවරාකාරය කාල පරිද්දයක් වේවිද කියන සංඥාව දැන් අපි ඉදිරිපිට තබා
The weak political culture of this country should be fixed. It should be converted into a good political system. There are people who are contesting from our list who have not spoken a word in parliament. If we give them a page from an exercise book and ask them to write something, they will not be able to do so. There are people like that in our district.
අභ්‍යාස පොත කොලයක් අල්ලලා දුන්නොත් මෙන්න මේ කරන්න කියලා එහෙම ලියන්න දෙයක් නැති අය ඉන්නවා.
The administrations of Gulf nations have decided to release more than 1,500 Sri Lankan prisoners and detainees owing to the current COVID-19 pandemic.
Deputy General Manager and the media spokesperson of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Mangala Randeniya, said that the relevant government have agreed to provide air tickets to such released persons to enter the country. He further stated that the governments of the countries have agreed to conduct free PCR tests before the group arrives in Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, the government says that nearly 17,000 Sri Lankans stranded overseas have been repatriated to the country. Additional Secretary to the President for External Affairs, Professor Admiral Jainath Kolambage, stated that more than 40,000 people are expected to arrive in the country. However, due to an issue regarding the space available in the quarantine centres, the repatriation of those personnel was temporarily suspended from the 14th. He further noted that this process would resume immediately.
It has been revealed that a large number of fish have died at the Bulgoda Lake.
According to our correspondent, reports of dead fish washing onto the riverbank were reported since yesterday. Locals in the area said the area had been inspected by the public health inspectors already. Our correspondent added that there appears to be no change in the water of the Bulgoda Lake.
An army soldier died after falling off from a building under construction at the Battaramulla Army headquarters today.
Army spokesperson Brigadier Chandana Wickramasinghe stated that the army soldier had fallen onto a roof. The deceased was a 42-year-old father of two and a resident of Homagama. The army spokesperson added that the deceased was attached to the Army Engineering Regiment.
In a COVID update for this afternoon, 0 COVID-19 cases were reported in Sri Lanka on Tuesday, and the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country remains at 2,730. A total of 2,048 people have recovered completely from the coronavirus. According to the epidemiology unit, 671 people are currently receiving treatment. Military spokesperson Brigadier Chandana Wickramasinghe, speaking to Newsfirst, said there are 561 COVID-19 cases at the Kandakadu Treatment and Rehabilitation Center alone. 25,250,74 people who completed the mandatory quarantine period have left quarantine facilities, and another 5,222 people are undergoing quarantine across 51 facilities. 0 COVID-19 cases reported in Sri Lanka yesterday. Total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country remains at 2,730. Meanwhile, 2 police officers serving at the Maravilla Mahavava roadblock have been arrested on charges of robbery and assault.
The 2 police officers who were arrested by the Maravilla police are attached to the same police station. The 2 arrested officers are a sub-inspector and a police constable. They were arrested following an investigation based on information provided by another police constable who worked at the same roadblock. Further investigations have revealed that the motive for the attack and the robbery was a refusal to pay a bribe to a motorcyclist who was involved in an accident at the Maravilla Mahavava roadblock recently. The arrested suspects are to be produced before the Maravilla Magistrates Court this evening.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on Election First. For details of the stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Satyadesan, along with producer Senita Sena Naika. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.